Pray for us. Pray that the people do the right thing, in New Orleans.
And we knew that a Category 5 hurricane had the potential of hitting New Orleans 3 days prior to it making landfall.
The sun was shining just like it's here, nice day. And all of a sudden, it started, the weather started changing, it started getting cloudy, and then it started thundering and lightning, and it started drizzling rain. The second day, that's when Katrina really, really did her thing.
Oh, as soon as we found out that the storm was coming, we knew right away that you had to evacuate. There was never no doubt in your mind, especially living in the night ward. We have already experienced what happens in the night ward when there is a hurricane and flooding.
And I knew I wasn't gonna be staying back there for that, cause I can't swim. I knew I was. Send me somewhere. Cause I'm not staying in the night ward. You say get out of that night ward, cause you don't trust it? Okay, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm on my way.
The city also knew that it was almost roughly around 120 to 150,000 people that did not have the means to evacuate. So those people was basically abandoned.
Trapped, because that's exactly what you are. In the lower night ward, you're trapped. There's nowhere to get out. If you can't get across the bridge, you're trapped. So,
the situation in the ninth ward is that power is being brought back at this point, house by house. It went about 3.5 months with no power in any of this area. North of St. Claude Street, south of St. Claude Street, the Bywater neighborhood had power. There's houses, as you'll see, that haven't been touched. A lot of them say are not entered. They haven't been checked. Forgotten. I think it's been neglected, and there's a big difference in that. Forgotten is a passive term, as if oops, I forgot, as if it wasn't intentional. But neglect is an intentional thing done to people without social power.
There will be no peace up here uptown until there's some justice downtown. And no,
we're back to rebuild our city. We're back to reclaim our city. Join me, we're back. 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 We're back.
One thing up. Katrina, not Rita, did this. This disaster that we're under now is man-made. We need to fully understand that.
The city provides no social services during this time, and to be poor in New Orleans is to be extremely poor. The average income of the families that was abandoned in this city was roughly around $7,000 a year. It was just a tragedy, and it was the worst kind of tragedy because it was a tragedy that was caused basically by neglect, corruption, and racism.
We're back! Take it back! We're back! Take it back! We're back! Take it back!
Where are our babies? America, where are our babies you took from their parents? Why won't you tell us where they are? Where is this warehouse that got all these people with these bullet holes in them? Where are they? Why can't we go in the ninth ward? Why don't we know about the Murphy oil spill? Why don't we know about the shall not. What is up with this?
Viva, you liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Viva, you liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Viva, you liar! We'll set your ass on fire! Viva!
Well, FEMA, they have sent me, you know, a little something, you know, for, I guess they sent it for what I lost. But they can't never replace what I lost, man. You understand what I'm saying? They can give me all the money in the world. I had sentimental values, man, that I left in that house where I was staying at, bro. I know I never get it back.
FEMA has no plan. They talked to us about the early part of December and said, hey, you've got 2 weeks to move out of your hotels, those of us who have been relocated. Where are we moving to? There is no plan.
I'm almost homeless. I'm in San Francisco, and I'm just about homeless there. The Red Cross do not give to the Red Cross. They're not helping us. We didn't get the money. San Francisco got $20 million just for San Francisco survivors. We haven't seen that money. Do not give to the Red Cross. We need help.
There's no support being given whatsoever to this neighborhood. The Red Cross doesn't really come through here. The Red Cross came through here the other day, but just because they heard that we on the ground were here and they want to know if we needed anything. It wasn't really for the community itself.
And I'm here on a mission. I've had some very trying days thinking about New Orleans and trying to make it back. But the mission that I'm on is simply to come back to the 9th Ward, to the house that my husband purchased 40-something years ago for us as a family. For him, I have to maintain that house. I have to keep the spiritual connection to that house. And so I'm here to reclaim that house in any way that I can.
They're not seeing the fact that after 4 months, that car across the street is still sitting there. You know, and after 4 months, this area has power wires down and has trees down blocking streets, and has debris on the road that are popping people's tires when they're trying to come back to see their homes. That the city hasn't made this area safe.
Because no one had to leave New Orleans. You know, but why they forced them out? Because nobody in this state wanted them. Simply because they was black and poor.
Well, they don't want the black folks back in the 9th Ward, you know that. They don't want none of them blacks to come back, period. That's why I'm saying they was about to bulldoze everything down and put condominiums and all the, you know, high-rise and stuff, and golf courses and stuff and all that, man.
My personal belief, and a lot of belief of many of the volunteers here, that this area has been neglected on purpose so that people don't come back. Power hasn't been restored. If there's no power, people can't come back, right?
I can understand you saying that all the homes are still in darkness because they have to be checked, but there's no reason why the street lights isn't on. You know? But then if I was a single mother with a couple of kids that in school and there's no schools operating in this city, and I had to come back and live in this type of darkness, I wouldn't come back. You know, and that's, to me, is the plan, because there's no reason. There's no reason why 3 months after Katrina, you still have communities that's in darkness, not in the richest nation on earth.
What ends up happening is that developers are coming in to buy up this area, to buy up the houses, to offer people very low offers for their homes, and people are left with no choice. They don't have the money to rebuild, and they don't have insurance, and they have no incentives to come back and rebuild from the city. However, if you go on the other side of town to the Garden District, to the Loyola neighborhood and all that, it looks like no hurricane ever came through. All the flooded cars are gone, the boats are gone, the trees are cut and cleaned up, the power lines are up, everyone has power and Christmas lights and everything is up and running like normal.
Because why is it that all around the French Quarter you've got electricity and the Iberville housing projects are standing untouched? You know, I mean, this is a place where they used to, this is on high ground. There's no flooding, there's no damage to the Iberville projects. Why are the residents from the Iberville projects not? And I'll tell you why, because Donald Trump is building a 70-story tower 3 blocks away.
The French Quarter is up and running, and the tourism, the tourism is really going to survive this. That's really important for New Orleans. Yeah, it's important. What's more important is getting the people of New Orleans who call this home, who have never left New Orleans for generations, getting them back home.
I came out my place, walked down the step, and I saw 2 trucks down the block where the Chief Al was living, and they was taking stuff out the house and out the yard. After they left, they put a lock on the door. Then the next day Al came and I told him, because he didn't know.
The plan today is on our way down to Igor's, which is his main spot. There's a place called Lucky's, and there ain't gonna be but about 6 people in there because it's real small and it's real slow. We're gonna go in there, we're gonna put out our flyers and all that, make a little bit of noise, and then we're gonna head down to Igor's main spot. That's where all his helpers hang out. That's where we identified several people that robbed Chief Al, and that's where we need to make our message very clear.
Bring back our stuff! 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 Bring back our stuff!
I don't want this goddamn place closed down in any other place he got. He stayed and he helped his neighbors, and now he got illegally evicted, and his property was stolen by the workmen sent by Igor Morgan.
Give back our stuff! 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 Give back our stuff!
You know, but still.
Actually, there are laws against obstructing the sidewalk, which you're doing.
We don't want to obstruct the sidewalk.
Well, you need to not obstruct the sidewalk, and then you need to also obtain some sort of city permit, okay, to hold a protest march out here.
Exactly. If you want to have a protest or a demonstration, that's fine. You got no problem with that. But you need to obtain a permit first. Okay. And the way you do that is go down to City Hall and go to the Office of Permits and Planning, and they'll issue a permit. Okay. It goes on the same thing as like a block party or a parade.
Come on, listen to me for a minute. I think we got our point over to Eagle. Hey, big man, I'm still waiting for you. The law's out here now. I can handle you real good.
I live at 119, apartment 119 in Roosevelt Square. And they told me I have 10 days to get out.
We had received 1 eviction notice, went to court. The judge made them accept the rent for September, October, and November. And then around the 18th or the 19th of November, it was Saturday before Thanksgiving, we received a notice to vacate the premises. And it stated that we had to be out by today, November 30th.
I really need to speak with the judge about this because one of the residents went to talk to the building manager, and the gentleman told the residents that they need to get the hell out of here, that they don't have, basically to the effect that they don't have a right to electricity because they need to get the hell out.
And they ain't have nothing wrong with this house at all, but they gutted the bedroom and the bathroom out. So I don't know what they're gonna do with this year. They're saying everything is messed up around here, but it ain't. They have a lot of apartments around here. They gutted out and wasn't nothing wrong with them. They just want the people to move. Most people, they told they had to leave and they didn't want to fight it, so they stayed, they left. So, well, they ain't gonna do us no good.
We have seen the police at her apartment at least 5 times harassing her. Of course, they would hide their names so you couldn't see who they were.
I'm a criminal police officer, and basically I'm out here to make sure no one's arguing, fighting. Criminal statute is trespassing, which is in violation of what is going on right now. Okay?
Trespass.
Report to the management, y'all causing our problem, the construction people, because they're trying to get work done. Y'all interfering with that. I need y'all to step off the property, please.
Yes, I called police. He covered his name tag. He told me.
Covered his name tag?
Yeah, he told us we got to get out.
He had his hand over his badge?
Yes, and he got a little jacket.
Yeah.
He covered it, and he said we had to get out.
Was it the same officer who came to your door that
No,
night?
this is different.
Okay.
Whole different.
All right then.
And I showed him, I paid my rent, I paid my lights, I showed him everything. He said, well, I can't help you.
So I don't expect they're going to try anything today, but they could try something tomorrow or the next day. So we all have to be prepared to come down here on very short notice. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. All right then.
Looks like garbage now. We have to fight them, that's all. Just gotta fight them. You fight for your right. You know? Just gotta fight it, that's it. You can't give up.
I say I continue fighting for my apartment. I don't care if I have to die for that.
You know, you take ruins and ashes and turn it into glory.
And what we have going on right here is, this is 1700 Desalane in the lower 9th ward. It's a house, it's owned by a woman who's in her 30s and her grandmother. So her grandmother owns the place and they used to live here together. This house right here is totally structurally sound. The inside is destroyed. All the furniture and everything else was moldy and flooded, and there was mud that deep in some parts of the house. The flooding went up onto the roof, and there's giant piles of debris when we got here 3 days ago up on the roof. And now what we're doing is we've gone in, we're cleaning out the house, we're making it so that we're about to start living in it within a few days. There's a court order, today's the 4th, on the 6th, on Friday. Right now there's a temporary halt to the bulldozing that's been going on here that they've been planning on doing to just bulldoze this entire neighborhood. And what we're going to be doing on the 6th is when that injunction expires, and there's another court hearing to see if they can extend it. But if they can't extend it, they're just going to start bulldozing this neighborhood, including all the houses that are still structurally sound, that people want to move back into, that people are trying to move back into. So what we're going to be doing is living in here that's not allowed. Somehow it's trespassing even if you own the place. So we got a lease on the place from the grandmother. So now we are the legal tenants. Common Ground, Brandon Darby, the coordinator, is legal tenant here, and he's going to start living here. He might get arrested. People might get arrested with him who are also staying here. How they're trying to do this is illegal. The way that they're using eminent domain in this neighborhood without giving people the opportunity to go through due process for their belongings, for their property to be destroyed and bulldozed is illegal, and we've met with a lot of lawyers about that already. And so if it comes to that, if it comes to going to jail, then it seems as though we are going to win, and it'll just change that rule. So we're kind of forcing their hand of what they're going to do to us once we get in here. So it's kind of it's sort of strange, you know, like cleaning a house is totally subversive, but that's what we're doing, is we're doing subversive house cleaning right now.
Somebody asked me earlier today, so Malcolm, you got into the local politicians speaking of that? Hell no. Did any of these local politicians do anything for you? Come on now. Have they done anything for you? Hell no. Are they representing you now? Hell no.
I think that the more we work to establish an infrastructure below any, where the radars of governmental officials aren't catching, we're underneath. We're establishing this grassroots infrastructure. And the stronger we build it and the quicker and harder we work to build that, they're not going to break it down.
We know that we have to represent ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
We know that during the storm, we have to say